Welcome back to our channel, ladies and gentlemen. Today, we have an exciting visual analysis in store for you. We'll be diving into the captivating world of Eathan Page's Etile and exploring a significant event known as the Siege of Tenem. If you haven't had a chance to see it yet, don't worry. We've included the trailer link in the description below for your convenience. Now, let's delve into the details of this epic clash. The Siege of Tenem unfolded in the western realm of the planet Polic, between the rival nations of Ocaka and Etile. As we examine the map before us, we can clearly see the strategic significance of Tenem. Situated near the border, it became the primary target for Etile due to its close proximity. Notably, this city presented a formidable challenge as it housed a vital supply base just a few miles south. To effectively deploy their troops, Etile employed one of their massive transport cruisers, a true marvel of engineering. These colossal vessels were capable of carrying SE-2U assault ships, essential for the invasion. Packed within these ships were poke pods filled with Searos, a potent force ready to be unleashed upon Tenem's defenses. As the SE-2U assault ships were launched from the transport cruiser, it retreated to the vastness of space, while the smaller crafts maneuvered through the atmosphere on their way to Tenem. Now that we know the setup, let's get into the battle. To understand what's happening, I am going to go over the basic strategic points of Tenem. First, Tenem city itself. The city is constructed in the middle of the Ocaka desert. It follows a concentric circular design. The city wall surrounding it protects the city from sandstorms. In the very heart of the city, the palace is located. This palace contains the Lord of Tenem, of which Etile has ordered the execution of. The city can be entered through 3 trading points on the west, north, and east. However, these points are completely sealed after the invasion begins. Stationed around a half-mile from the city along the east route, Tenem's security forces are stationed along sand dunes and safeguard the city. Alright, now let's get into the battle. The Etile SE-2U ships approach from the sky and fly over the Tenem security forces. As they do so, they release a payload of missiles decimating the security structures and rupturing their connection with the city. As the ships approach, they clear the large sand dunes built up along the security forces and come in sight of the city. As the SE-2Us approach, they are opened up on as Ocaka soldiers atop the wall fire anti-air fire. As the bombers begin to descend, they come under heavy fire from the city's defenses, but they are relentless. The SE-2Us dropped their payload of poke pods onto the outskirts of the city. The transport bomber ships flew overhead, releasing the pods which had a large spike at the front. As the pods crashed into the ground, they penetrated the sand with immense speed, the point on the front anchoring the pod firmly in place. From there the ships fly over the city, dropping toxic gas bombs into the city. The Searos exit their poke pods and immediately come under fire. The Searos are heavily armored, and it takes either a specialized or large amount of rounds to penetrate their armor. As they exit, the commander of the assaulting Black Death Battalion emerges among his men. He immediately opens comms and begins communicating with his men. At this moment, the Ocaka chain of command gains access to their drones, which begin emerging from the wall and opening fire on the Searos. Witnessing this, the Black Death commander known as SS-5782 swiftly commands his men to disperse, aiming to prevent the drones from targeting larger groups. With their numbers reaching the hundreds, the drones unleash their full firepower, relentlessly bombarding the charging Searos. Thousands of rounds from both the drones and Ocaka soldiers stationed on the wall rain down upon the Searos, hitting them repeatedly. Amidst the intense battle, 5782 reaches out to the Admiral to inquire about the progress of the SE-2U's reloading and return, as the assaulting Searos face an exceedingly heavy barrage of fire. The Searos retaliate against the drones to the best of their abilities, but the overwhelming numbers of the drones create an unyielding defensive line. Finally, the SE-2Us return, rearmed with missiles. They fly over the city, bombarding the defensive line of drones and the towering Ocaka wall. As it crumbles, the Searos, seeing their opportunity, charge the walls whole. The Searos flood the city as Ocaka soldiers scramble to re-coordinate. The Seerus flood around the outskirts and through the main tradeway, marching directly to the Lord's palace. Meanwhile, the effects of earlier toxic gas bombs begin to permeate the air, causing both Ocaka soldiers and civilians to gasp for breath, struggling against the choking fumes. Undeterred, the Seerus press forward, effortlessly making their way to the palace walls. Breaching the fortifications, they advance inside and locate the central panel that controls the drones, swiftly deactivating it and effectively ending the battle outside the walls. The Seerus enter the palace, cutting down guards and executing the Lord of Tenem. Simultaneously, the Seerus continue flooding the outskirts of the city, completing their encirclement and steadily advancing inward, ensuring the city's security. The Siege of Tenem concludes with the Seerus emerging triumphant, securing control over the city and executing the Lord of Tenem. Please be advised that the trailer link in the description below will provide a further glimpse into the story that this battle came from.